Welcome to the Dogface Development Code and Web Style Guide Showcase. You've probably seen the videos before of our previous code and web style guides, but after some time experimenting with the Astro design system and working with Astro itself and how it builds websites, I've decided to actually switch over to a new design system. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the code style guide. We can look at a little bit of the code, see how it works, and then we'll go see what the website looks like right now, and then go into what it's supposed to look like when the development is finished. So this is the Dogface Development Code Style Guide project on GitHub. It's a style guide published as markdown files and as a web page, so that way anyone can use it, and then it's pushed to the web page using Astro. There's currently only been 2 releases. It's been kind of in development, but it's a little bit delayed right now just as we move into using the Astro program instead of using just normal HTML with GitHub pages. You can sponsor this project. It's been contributed to by quite a number of people, and it's currently deployed to GitHub pages. The last time was 8 months ago, and it's a combination of Astro, TypeScript, Vue, Sass, JavaScript, HTML, and a little bit of Docker file. It's currently been passing its normal tests, but its playwright tests are failing. That's just because of the way Astro is building stuff right now. It's kind of messing up the way it looks, and you'll see that when we look at the actual website. It's a clear style guide available for many programming languages, available for many programming platforms. There's consistency across all projects. It's easy to implement. It uses reusable standards, and it's available in Markdown and on the web, and it's cross-platform web browser based. What you can do is you can clone it using Git, or you can pull the Docker image, or you can just access the page on the internet here. It's built in partnership with GitHub, the W3C, W3 Skills, and Simple Analytics, and it's licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 public license. We'll scroll back up here and we can see how it works. So if you go into docs, it just has the information about basically the legal stuff for right now, because those are the docs about the project itself, not the style guide documentation. If you go into the style guide folder here, we have the different areas. So there's languages, Android, Arduino, C++, C, CSS, Git, HTML, JSON, JavaScript, Markdown, PowerShell, and Python. So because it will be sorted by that, by different languages, some quality and stuff about code quality, and then information about how to do repositories and how to version them. If you go into each one of these files, we'll use the repository one as an example. It just says repositories with a heading and it's blank. Head back up to the main tree here, and then of course there are some tests. Right now there's just an index test, a basic test, just to see if the page loads correctly. The page does not load correctly right now, so that's why that test is failing. And then since this is an Astro site, obviously we're having a public and a source folder, which has all of our information in it. Right here we can see all of the icons that are used to build the website, and then the source here has the components, layouts, the pages. If we go to our pages itself, there's components with the buttons, and these are the different parts of the style guide. This is more of stuff for a web style guide, because this was a template for a web style guide that just got turned into this into a code style guide as well. But as you can see, it'll work. Once it gets changed over, it will look a lot better. So we're going to go to the actual link here. As you can see right now, it just says Astro Design System, Astro theme to build your design system fast. Well, that's just the placeholder text for right now, but it's going to be sorted by language. So we got Arduino here, or Android, sorry, Arduino, C. Those are the first 3 that just showed up. Normally they would be in boxes on the center of the window here, and then there'd be a nice heading. It's just the CSS that's being built by Astro right now is kind of messed up, so that just needs to be fixed. So if you need a easy to use code style guide for yourself, one that kind of follows along this theme where it's sorted by language and different topics, then consider trying out this project for yourself, forking it and making it your own, or you can always go look up the Astro design system on astro.build and use that. Now we're going to move on to the web style guide as well. So this is the web style guide repository. As you can see, it is basically exactly the same as the code style guide because they're both built off the same stuff. So I'll just go through the basic description of it, and we'll skip looking at the actual code because there's not a lot to see in there. So it's the web style guide published as Markdown files and a web page. Currently also has 2 releases. You can sponsor it if you would like. It's available as a package as DFD web style guide. It's deployed to GitHub pages, and this one has a couple more languages in it, more web-based languages. It's got Astro, TypeScript, Vue, Sass, JavaScript, HTML, and Docker file. This one is a little more broken. As you can see, there's a lot of builds breaking right now. It needs a little more work, but it is coming along. Some of the key features are the clear style guide, consistency across all websites, it's easy to implement, has reusable templates and standards, it's available in Markdown and on the web, and is cross-platform web browser based. You can access it from the link right here, or you can clone it over Git or pull it over Docker. It's built in partnership with GitHub, the W3C, W3 Schools, and Simple Analytics, and it is also licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 public license. We'll scroll back up to the top of the page here. As you can see, there's lots of files building this website, and we will go and look at our docs again. So our docs pretty much exactly the same, just have the legal stuff for right now because those are docs about the project, not about the style guide. But going into the style guide, we get our folder there. So we have components, examples, guidelines, and patterns. The components are the different parts that are going to be in a website. Examples are just some examples of how we would build a website. Guidelines on a website. So this is kind of like almost like more of like a writing style guide as well. So it's got color, content, icons, and typography. And then there's some patterns. So what would we use for certain patterns for buttons? What would we use for certain patterns for forms? So that way all the forms look the same in a certain pattern. Also, this web style guide is heavily based off the GitHub Primer style guide. They have a very nice way of styling their websites, a very nice way of keeping everything kind of coherent and flowing. So it's built in partnership with that. It's kind of working on what they display as well. So we'll go over here to the website link, and you can see a pretty simple outline. This one is missing the icons. Obviously, they don't seem to be working, but it's pretty much the same as that code style guide, except now we just have core, components, and patterns. Now, I'm sure you want to see what this is actually supposed to look like, so we'll hop over to a live example of the theme template, and then you can see what it is actually supposed to look like and what this website is actually supposed to be. We are now at the Astro Design System website from astro.build. This is a publicly available template, free for everyone to use, and like I said, it's the Astro Design System, and it's the Astro theme to build your site fast. Each one has these 3 blocks, so what will happen with the code style guide is there'll be a block for each language, and they will just fill up the screen. So there'll probably be one more here, one more here. It'll obviously be responsive to the size of monitor that you have, and then it'll just go down adding more and more icons, and then you can just click like this and you'll see it. As you can see here, it goes into the Astro Design System. It's got its main page here for core, introduction. It shows you all the information, and then you go there. Then there's colors as well, so it'll show some color bars like this. Talk about typography, shadows, all sorts of stuff like this. Different components like buttons, input, status pills, tables, and finally patterns and introduction to patterns. Right now, obviously, this is the template, so there's not a lot of information in here, but as we fill it out more, there'll be more information. We'll also customize this so it has our own information. I personally think this is a great theme. You got your main content here, you have your easy navigation on the side, and then your sub navigation for the page on the other side. It's really nice to use. And as you can see down here, it was made by @Jordan R for personal and commercial use. So I would encourage you to try that out if you would like to make your own design system, your own web design system, or your own code style guide. It's a great way to kind of keep everything the same across all of your websites and all of the projects that you make. So I hope you enjoyed. If you want to learn more about it, click those links in the description. Otherwise, stay tuned for more videos on my computer coding projects.